Hi, it's Mark Donnigan with the Marketing Execution Podcast. Companies hit $500 million valuations 3 times faster today than before. That means speed kills the competition. However, most leaders still think traditional M&A means buying competitors. Having guided tech companies through transformative acquisitions, I've seen how category kings really emerge. Here's my conversation with Tim about radical M&A strategies.
Tune in, listen up, it's marketing time. Bright ideas sparking, blowing your mind. From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big exec dreams, catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Mark, I was thinking about this the other day, how some companies just feel inevitable. Like we don't search for something anymore, we Google it. We don't get a ride, we call an Uber. It's like they've gone beyond a brand and have become part of a language. What is going on there?
Dude, you've nailed the exact concept we need to talk about. Is this idea of becoming a category king. That's what the research calls it. And it's not just about being the biggest player. It's about achieving, a death grip on your market. When people think of your category, they think of you, period.
A death grip? Wow. Okay, that's intense. So it's not just market share, it's mind share.
It's total mind share. And the crazy part is how fast it's happening now. It's not like the old days where a company took 50 years to become a household name. There's this metric called time to market cap, or TTMC, and it basically tracks how fast companies are hitting these massive valuation milestones.
And I'm guessing that timeline is shrinking a lot.
Shrinking? It's been completely crushed. We're seeing companies hit a $500 million market cap almost 3 times faster than they did in the past. It's mind-blowing. And if you're a VC-backed company, forget about it. It's like they've strapped a rocket to the business model.
Okay, 3 times faster that's actually insane. Is this just like a symptom of cheap money flooding the system, or is there something more fundamental happening here?
It's a perfect storm, really. First, you've got this hyper-connected world. An idea, a product, a trend can spread globally in, a few hours? Word of mouth is on steroids.
Right.
Second, consumers they're savvier. They're more demanding, they have a problem, and they expect a solution to exist right now. You don't have to spend years convincing someone that hailing a cab in the rain sucks. They already know. They just want the Uber.
We're all about that instant gratification.
Exactly. And then the third piece is the business model shift. Everything is a subscription or has a freemium tier. The barrier to trying something new is practically zero. So all this together creates this landscape where speed is everything. The window to become that category king is smaller than ever, but the rewards are bigger.
So with this insane race to the top, companies have to be making some pretty aggressive moves to get there. This must be where that whole concept of radical M&A comes into play?
Yes, this is the secret weapon, and we have to be super clear here. This is not your grandpa's M&A. We're not talking about just buying a smaller competitor to take their customers or get a little bigger.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
We're talking about buying the future. It's about having the vision to see an adjacent category that's about to explode and acquiring the leader of that category before anyone else even knows what's happening.
Give me an example. I need to see this in action.
The all-time masterclass is Disney. Think about it. In the early 2000s, they were the king of classic animation. Princesses, talking animals, that was their category. They could have just kept milking that.
Yeah, and probably would have slowly become a relic.
Instead, they did something audacious. In 2006, they dropped $7.4 billion on Pixar. People probably thought that was a crazy price for a cartoon studio. Then, a few years later, boom, $4 billion for Marvel. Then another $4 billion for Lucasfilm and Star Wars.
I remember that. As a fan, it was wild. But from a business perspective,
It was strategic brilliance. They weren't buying competitors. Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars were kings of their own categories: computer animation, superhero epics, and space operas. Disney didn't just buy companies, they acquired entire genres that now completely dominate entertainment. They bought the future of the box office. That is a category king move.
okay, that makes perfect sense. But come on, Mark. That's Disney. They have infinite cash. What does this mean for a startup founder listening to this? Someone who's maybe raised a Series A and is just trying to survive. They can't go buy Pixar.
Great question. And this is the most important part for everyone listening to the Marketing Execution Podcast. You're right, you can't buy Pixar, but you can be smarter. For a startup, it's not about a hostile takeover. It's about finding the perfect dance partner.
A dance partner. I like that. Less intimidating.
Totally. It's about applying that same category design thinking. You have to stop looking only at your own product and ask a bigger question. What is the larger game we're trying to win? What adjacent problem are our customers facing that we're not solving? And who is already crushing it in that space?
So instead of trying to build that feature yourself, you find the company that's already the best in the world at it and team up.
You got it? The classic tech example is early Microsoft. They built an operating system, which is great, but their category-defining move was partnering with literally every PC manufacturer. They made their software the essential backbone of an entire industry they didn't even compete in. They shaped the entire ecosystem.
They became the default, the assumed choice.
Precisely. That's the mindset. Stop thinking about just your product. Start thinking about the bigger ecosystem. Ask yourself, who can we partner with that makes both of us the undisputed king of a new combined category? It's not just about a good business deal. It's about a move that fundamentally rewrites the rules of the game in your favor.
That completely reframes the idea of partnerships. It's not just a channel, it's a core part of your strategy to dominate a category. Okay, so this thinking has to be baked into the company culture from day one, right? I'm curious, what does that look like internally?
Yeah, baked in is the perfect way to put it, Tim, because if it's just a strategy document sitting in a folder, it's already dead. This isn't something the strategy team works on for a quarter. It has to be in the company's DNA. It's a mindset that starts with a CEO who has to stop being just a chief executive officer and become the chief category designer.
The chief category designer. I like that. So the vision for the entire market has to come from the very top. It can't be delegated.
Never, because it changes everything. It changes who you hire. It changes how your product team thinks. They'll keep on asking, what part of our customer's problem are we not solving yet? That shift, that is everything.
I see what you mean. It pulls the team's focus way up from the weeds of the product to the entire ecosystem the customer lives in.
You got it. I know of a SaaS company. Great product, solid team, but their growth had just flatlined. They were stuck. The CEO had this realization that they weren't in the data analytics software business. That was their product. Their category was the decision confidence business.
Okay, wait, hang on. That sounds a little fluffy. Decision confidence business. How do you make that real for the team? How does that translate into a decision to actually go out and buy another company?
Oh man, it's the opposite of fluffy. It's the most concrete thing in the world. Because once he defined that new category, the next step was obvious. He asked the team, okay, to give our customers total confidence, what else do they need that we don't have? And they realized their data was only one piece. The other missing piece was visualizing that data in a simple way.
Ah, so they weren't a data visualization company.
Nope. And they knew it would take them 2 years to build a decent version themselves. By then, the window would be closed. But they found this small, brilliant startup that was the absolute best at data viz. Not a huge company, not a direct competitor, but they were the king of their tiny adjacent category.
The dance partner.
The perfect dance partner. They acquired them. And almost overnight, they didn't just have a new feature, they had a complete solution for business decision confidence. They owned the new category. Their growth went through the roof. That is what this thinking does. It gives you a map to the future.
Wow. So the acquisition wasn't a financial move to roll up revenue. It was a strategic move to complete a vision. That's a huge difference.
It's the only difference that matters. This is why so many traditional M&A deals fail. They're just spreadsheets. They're about consolidation and cost cutting. They're backwards looking. A radical M&A move, a category king move, is always forward looking. It's about buying a piece of the future that you can't build fast enough yourself.
So for the founders listening to this right now, the key is to stop looking at your direct competitors as potential acquisition target.
Yes, stop looking at the companies in your box. You need to look outside the box. Your M&A target list shouldn't be smaller versions of you. It should be full of these weird, brilliant companies solving problems you're not even thinking about yet, but that your customers will have tomorrow. You're buying their future relevance to your category.
This really redefines what a strategic asset is. It's not a patent or a customer list. It's an entire team that's obsessed with a different part of your customer's problem.
Exactly. That's it. It's an obsession that you absorb into your own company. That's how you build that death grip we talked about. You don't just solve one problem better than anyone. Instead, you create a system that solves the whole problem. And you do it by acquiring the best minds that are already focused on the different pieces. It becomes impossible for a customer to leave. Why would they?
Okay, this makes so much sense. The mindset, the vision, it all clicks, but I have to ask, how do you actually do this? Where do you even start looking for that dance partner we talked about? Let's get into the nuts and bolts.
Okay, Tim, let's get into how people can actually use this stuff.
Yes, let's do it. Founders are listening for a playbook. Where does step 1 begin?
Step 1. You have to completely change your perspective. Get your leadership team in a room, and the only question you're allowed to ask is this: what is the customer's whole problem?
Not just the problem your product solves today.
No, that's the trap. You got to ask what happens right before they use our tool, and what do they need to do right after? The space between those answers, that's where you find your dance partner.
So you're looking for the gaps in their day.
You're drawing a new map. Think about it this way. Most companies draw a map of their own city, their product. They know every street, every building, but your customer lives in the entire country. Your job is to draw the map of the country of their problem.
And the other cities on that map,
Those are your acquisition targets. They're not competitors. They're just solving a problem in a different city. Look at Miro. They didn't just sell a digital whiteboard. That was their city. They created a collaborative space. That's the whole country. It meant they could look for partners in project management or async video, totally different cities that were part of the same big problem.
wow, okay. So you draw this new map, you identify the other cities. How do you decide which one to go after?
Great question. You need a new scorecard. The old M&A spreadsheets about revenue and cost cutting, throw them in the trash. They're useless for this.
So what's on the new scorecard?
It's so much simpler. It's a future relevance scorecard. You just ask 3 questions. That's it.
Okay, I'm ready.
First, does this company own a piece of the customer's problem that we absolutely need to own tomorrow? It's a need, not a want. Second, is their team completely obsessed with solving that piece of the problem? I mean, do they live and breathe it in a way your team doesn't?
And the third?
Third, and this is the big one, if we try to build it ourselves, will we be too late? Will the category window have already closed?
That is incredibly clear. It's not about what they are. It's what they will be to your category.
100%. Think about Salesforce buying Slack. Salesforce owned the structured customer data world. They were the king. But the future of work was fast, messy, real-time communication. They didn't have that DNA.
And Slack's team was obsessed with it.
Obsessed. Could Salesforce have built a chat app? Of course. But could they have built that culture, that user love, that obsession before the world moved on? No way. They bought a piece of the future that they couldn't build fast enough themselves. It was a perfect future relevance move.
The map of the country and the future relevance scorecard. This makes a huge, complex idea feel so practical. Okay, Mark, this has been amazing. Before we wrap up, can you just summarize the core idea for us one more time? Pull it all together.
Absolutely. Look, the game has changed. The window to become a category king, the company everyone thinks of first, is smaller than ever. And the secret weapon isn't just building a better product anymore. It's about having the vision to see the customer's entire problem. We talked about how you have to draw a new map, a map of their whole world, not just your little piece of it. And then you use that map to find a dance partner. An amazing company you can acquire not for their revenue, but for their obsession with a piece of the future you can't build fast enough. It's a total mindset shift.
That's a perfect wrap up. Okay, final question then. If a founder forgets everything else we just said, but they remember one single idea from this conversation when they walk into their next board meeting, what should that one idea be?
Start asking how to make your market instead of asking how to win your market, because the company that defines the problem is the one that gets to own the solution forever. The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big, accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the marketing execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.